I'm going to tell you about the most dangerous person in the room. It's not the loud jerk. It's not the aggressive bully. You see them coming. You have defenses for them. The most dangerous person is the nice guy or the nice girl. The person who never says no. The person who is always fine. The person who does everything for everyone and asks for nothing in return. You think that you're a saint. You think that you're a martyr. You think that God is applauding your selflessness. But psychologically, you're a liar and you're a manipulator. Your kindness is a currency. You're buying affection because you don't believe that you can get it for free. You're terrified of conflict, so you lie to keep the peace. And deep down in the basement of your soul, you are absolutely furious at everyone that you are helping. My name is Michael. I'm a psychologist in training. I'm a sober dad, and today we're going to kill the nice guy. We're going to talk about the covert contracts, the Fawn response, and why Jesus Christ was good, but he definitely wasn't nice. If you consider yourself a people pleaser, this episode is going to feel like surgery without anesthesia. Good. You need it. Welcome to the show where we break down the mental health stigma, navigate sobriety with humor, and prove that it's okay to laugh while you heal. Let's get real, let's get honest, and maybe a little weird. Growth is messy, but you don't have to do it alone. This is Sober Psychology. Let's define our terms. When I say nice guy or nice girl, I'm not talking about someone who is genuinely kind. Kindness comes from a place of fullness. You give because you genuinely want to. Niceness, in the pathological sense, comes from a place of emptiness. You give because you need to. This is what Dr. Robert Glover calls no more Mr. Nice Guy. The nice guy script goes like this. If I am a good boy, if I hide my flaws, if I do everything that you want, then you'll love me. You'll never leave me, and I'll have a problem-free life. It's a survival strategy. It's a child's logic. In trauma psychology, we know fight, flight, and freeze. But there is a fourth F, fawn. The fawn response is when a child realizes, I can't fight the abuser, I'm way too small, I can't run away, so I'll become useful, I'll become pleasing. If I make the giant happy, the giant won't hurt me. So you learn to scan the room. You learn to read your mother's mood by the way that she closed the cabinet. You learn to suppress your own needs to manage your father's anger. You become a chameleon, and now you're 30 years old and you don't know who you are, and you only know who people want you to be. You aren't nice, you're traumatized. The core mechanism of the nice guy is the covert contract. A contract is an agreement. I will do X and you will do Y. Covert contract is one where I sign it, but I never let you read it. Here's the contract that you have with your spouse, your friends, and even God. I'll do this nice thing for you, and you didn't even ask for it, and in return, you'll give me validation, sex, or appreciation. And when they don't, when you clean the whole kitchen and your wife doesn't immediately praise you, when you listen to your friend's drama for 3 hours and they don't ask you about your day, you get resentful. You get bitter. You go into the victim pout. After everything I did for you, nobody asked you to do that. You did it to buy a reaction. And when the vending machine didn't drop the snack that you wanted, you kicked the machine. This is manipulation. You're trying to control people with generosity. Real generosity has no strings attached. If you give a gift and expect a return, it's not a gift, it's a loan, and you're a loan shark. We talked about the contract, but we need to talk about the currency. Why are you doing this? Why are you over-functioning? It comes down to a concept in psychology called the locus of control. If you have an internal locus of control, you believe I'm responsible for my feelings. I determine my worth. If you have an external locus of control, you believe my worth is determined by how you react to me. The nice guy has a completely externalized locus of control. You are a validation vacuum. You're walking around with an empty cup begging for people to pour a little bit of approval into it. Did I do a good job? Are you mad at me? Was the sex okay? This is exhausting for everyone around you. You think that you're giving to them, but energetically you're taking. You're sucking the life out of the room because everyone has to constantly reassure you that you're a good boy. It makes you incredibly fragile. If your boss criticizes you, you don't just think, I made a mistake. You think, I'm a worthless piece of garbage because you outsourced your identity to him. This is slavery. Seneca, who was the Stoic philosopher, said, he who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive, but he who knows that this was the condition laid down for him at the moment of his conception, will live according to principle and not according to the whim of others. Stop living by the whim of others. You need to plug the hole in your own cup. Here's the scary part. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, talked about the shadow. The shadow is everything that we deny about ourselves. The rage, the greed, the selfishness. The nice guy represses his shadow. He tells himself, I'm not angry, I'm not selfish, I'm a good Christian. But energy cannot be destroyed. It just goes underground. And the nicer that you are on the surface, the darker your shadow grows in the basement. This is why the nice guy is prone to explosive rage. This is why the pastor who preaches purity ends up in a motel room with meth. This is why the perfect mother suddenly screams at her kids and then tells them that she wishes they were never born. It's the beach ball effect. You hold the ball of your anger under the water. It takes effort, it takes energy, and eventually your arm gets tired, and that ball shoots up and hits you in the face. The goal of psychology, and I would argue spiritual maturity, is not to kill the wolf. It's to learn how to walk the wolf on a leash. You need to integrate your aggression. You need to admit, I have the capacity to be dangerous. Because if you don't think that you're dangerous, you aren't harmless. You're just unaware. How did you get this way? Let's look at the family system. Many of you were parentified children. This happens when parents are emotionally immature or absent. Maybe dad was an alcoholic. Maybe mom was depressed. So you, the child, stepped up. You became the therapist for your mother. You became the surrogate spouse. You mediated the fights. You learned, I am only valuable when I'm fixing problems. You learned, my needs are a burden, and if I have needs, they're gonna collapse the whole system. So you killed your needs. You became low maintenance. And now, in your adult relationships, you're attracted to broken people. Why is that? It's because if they are broken, you know what to do. You can fix them. You can be useful. If you met a healthy, stable person who didn't need you to save them, you would be absolutely bored. You wouldn't know how to relate to them because your entire identity is built on being a rescuer. Let's look at the Cartman drama triangle. If you start as the rescuer, you're going to eventually become the victim. And then finally, you're going to become the persecutor. You're going to save them, and then you're going to resent them for needing saving, and then you're going to punish them. Now let's talk about dating, because this is where the nice guy syndrome is most pathetic and most dangerous. I hear it all the time. Michael, women say that they want a nice guy, but they date jerks. Women are illogical. No. Women are biologically wired to detect safety, and nice guys are not safe. From an evolutionary psychology perspective, a nice guy signals deceit. When you're overly agreeable, when you agree with everything she says, when you hide your sexual intent, her creepy radar goes off. She thinks, nobody is this nice. What is he hiding? What does he want? And she's right. You're hiding something. You're using what we call the sneaky strategy. Yes, that's a real term in evolutionary biology. Instead of competing openly, showing your strength, your edge, your intent, you try to sneak in the back door by pretending to be her friend. You hover. You listen to her problems, you wait, and you think, if I listen to her cry about her ex-boyfriend enough times, eventually she'll let me touch her naked body. That is disgusting. It's predatory. It's not friendship, it's a waiting room. Women and men respect intent. If you find someone attractive, say it. Be direct. I'd like to take you out. If she says no, take the L and walk away like a man. But this nice guy hover game, it kills attraction. Polarity requires tension. It requires a you and a me. If you just morph into whatever she wants, there's absolutely no tension. There's no friction. And without friction, there's no spark. You are boring her to death because you're too afraid to be a direct human being. Let's talk to the Christians. You have been sold a lie that Christianity equals being nice. You confuse meekness with weakness. The biblical word for meekness, praus, was used to describe a warhorse, a stallion that had been trained for battle. It didn't mean harmless. It meant power under control. A warhorse is utterly terrifying. It can kill you, but it submits to the rider. Look at Jesus. Was Jesus nice? He flipped tables at the temple. He made a whip, premeditated. He made a whip. He called the religious leaders snakes and whitewashed tombs. He offended people constantly. He ruined dinner parties. He was good. He was loving. He was perfect, but he was not nice. Niceness is concerned with comfort. Love is concerned with truth. Sometimes the most loving thing that you can do is hurt someone's feelings. Sometimes the most loving thing that you can do is say no. Sometimes the most loving thing that you can do is let someone hit rock bottom and not rescue them. If you're nice because you're afraid of conflict, that isn't the fruit of the Spirit. That is the spirit of fear. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of sound mind. Stop hiding your cowardice behind a cross. So how do we fix this? We have to learn the most holy word in the English language. No. No is a complete sentence. Nice guys justify. I can't come because my cat is sick and my tires are low, and stop. You don't need an excuse to govern your own life. When you say yes, when you actually mean no, you're creating resentment. I would rather you tell me no and be honest than tell me yes and hate me the whole time you're helping me. Boundaries are not walls. They are gates. They define where I end and where you begin. If I don't have boundaries, I don't have a self. And if I don't have a self, I can't love you. I can only merge with you. Here's the challenge. The next time someone asks you for something that you don't want to do, I want you to say, I'm not able to do that. Don't explain. Don't apologize. Just sit in the awkwardness. The anxiety that you feel in that moment, that's the feeling of your spine growing back. We're moving from passive to assertive. Passive says, I don't matter. Aggressive says, you don't matter. Assertive says, we both matter, but I will not set myself on fire just to keep you warm. You need to start stating your needs. I want pizza tonight. I don't like how you spoke to me. I need some time alone. For the nice guy, expressing a need feels like selfishness. It feels like a sin. But it's actually the only way to have any level of intimacy. If you never show me your needs, I can never love you. I can only love the mask that you're wearing. You have to take the risk of being rejected for who you are rather than being loved for who you are not. Because being loved for a fake persona isn't love. It's just successful manipulation, and it is incredibly lonely. I need to warn you, if you listen to this episode and decide, okay, Michael's right, I'm going to start setting boundaries, things are going to get worse before they get better. In behaviorism, we call this the Extinction Burst. Imagine a vending machine. You put $1 in and you press the button and you get a soda. This is your family getting compliance from you. And then one day, you decide to set a boundary. You stop being the vending machine. They put the $1 in, which is going to be in the form of a guilt trip, maybe. They press the button. Nothing happens. Do they just say, oh, the vending machine is broken, I'll walk away? No, they bang on the machine, they shake it, they kick it. When you start saying no, the people who benefit from your lack of boundaries are going to escalate. You're being selfish. You've changed. I guess you don't love me anymore. This is the Extinction Burst. They are ramping up the pressure to get the old behavior back. Most nice guys panic here. They think, oh no, I'm hurting them. I'm so wrong. And then they cave. And if you cave during the burst, you just taught them that all they have to do is scream louder to get what they want. You have to hold the line. You have to employ the jade technique. Do not justify, do not argue, do not defend, do not explain. I'm not able to come to the Christmas dinner this year. Why? Mom is crying. I know it's disappointing, but I'm not able to come. Broken record, hold the frame. Eventually the extinction burst ends. The behavior extinguishes and they start to respect you, but you have to survive the tantrum first. Like Jordan Peterson, love him or hate him, said something very profound. You should be a monster, and then you should learn to control it. A rabbit is not virtuous because it doesn't eat the wolf. It can't eat the wolf. It's weak. A wolf that chooses not to eat the rabbit, that's virtue. That is meekness. Stop trying to be the rabbit. Stop trying to be harmless. Find your backbone. Find your no. Find your capacity for aggression and then submit it to God. That's how you become a person of substance. That's how you become safe. Not because you're weak, but because you are strong and you choose peace. Stop being nice. Start being real. I'm Michael. This is Sober Psychology. Go ruin someone's day with the truth. Keep your head up. Keep your heart open. Go help somebody. Love you guys.